Hello once more, the JSS students. We are back with the Bridges Without Rivers, and here we are on another story, Boys Games by Gloria Mwaniga. This is a bit of a sad story, a story whereby we meet Kiyingu, Willie and Omide alongside the narrator Mbone sitting at the rock near houses block A and B. The environment is a bit unfilthy as Willie pulls a catapult aiming at bodies of passing cars. I know you as junior second students, sometimes you sit by the roads, you have your catapults or in your hands. How do you make use of this? Remember, these were 3 boys and 1 was a girl. Do you know the names of the girl and the names of the boys? Okay. So Mbone is the only boy, a girl in the group. The rest are boys. And so there is a game suggested, Tapo game. I don't know whether you know Tapo game. The rest of the boys reject, calling it a girl's game. So these children opt to play run and see who is faster. And as they are doing so, they see a loaded lorry with sugarcane. Those of us who come from Western, you know what it means when you see a lorry with sugarcane. What happens? So the narrator feels indoors is so hot, and especially since the landlady rejected putting a ceiling on the house. Yeah. Now they also critique her sister who sits at the shed and speculate that she wants to have a soft skin because she will be in secondary school and later university. Now, since most men have left for job, women sit making their hair and gossiping about Sunday adventures while maids queue for water, which is scarce. Children who are unattended decide to go after the mutenga. They call it mutenga, that is the lorry, and pull sugarcane. I know some of you would wish to do this, but you should note that it's dangerous. Willie and Omide represent the rest. After pulling of some sugarcane, they want to alight, but the lorry is speeding and it is at a dangerous corner. Willie hits the rails of the lorry and comes down with a broken bone in the thigh, whereas Omide lands on the grass. Willie, unsuccessfully, as a crowd forms, is actually bleeding a lot and is almost having gone unconscious. Now here we see Mbone is traumatized, and her mother does not want her to reveal whatever happened. She pulls her away as the ambulance gets Willie to the hospital. And when the police even come later, Mbone's mother scolds her not to speak. In the evening, we see her mother again scolding her for playing with boys and not being a girl. Even though Mbone would wish to narrate whatever she saw, her mother's strictness stops her. She just cries and has a lot of headache. Now in this story, we see the characters, Willie, Omide, and Kiyingu are boys. They are very outgoing and daring because they play sling, throwing stones at cars using the catapult, as you check on page 32. You can also see they run after the mutenga and climb on it while it's moving. Can you give another situation where they are outgoing or daring? They are also very naughty and stubborn. Do you know why I say so? Check on page 32 and see that parents had warned them never to play such games and to go even beyond their gate, but they did. When they also realized that their mothers are not very keen on them, they ran to the roads to check who is faster on page 32. And remember also they went to the mutenga and were pulling sugarcane. They are male chauvinistic because they believe a girl cannot specify for them a game they have to play. Mother to Mbone. What kind of person is she? She's very defensive. She pulls her daughter from the scene of an accident, takes her home on page 39, and then she tells kids stories of children who had been taken away by strangers so that they cannot play near the road on page 34. She does not want Mbone to be the one to give first-hand information about the accident because she knows what consequence it might be, so she locks her in the room, page 39. She's reserved and conservative because she believes girls have to be girls and boys boys. She also hisses at Mbone and refuses to listen at her. She's very harsh and strict. She does not give a calm environment to Mbone, who wants to tell the story of agony about Willie on page 39 to 40. She looks at Mbone with a dark eye until this girl stops to talk about the accident. The narrator, who is Mbone, is very daring. Remember, she was also running after the Mutengwa for sugarcane. She even wanted to climb so that she is not called the wife of Mr. Todd. She plays very dangerous games with boys. She's also outspoken because she wanted to speak about the accident. She's assertive because when she's playing with the boys, when they want to downplay her, she says they should also play her game because she also plays the boys' game. She's the only girl playing with the boys. She also refuses to behave like a girl. When Willie tells her that the girls do not climb the lorry, she decides to tell him to go in her place. She's very observant. She realizes that Mutenga is overspeeding and begins to call Omida and Willie to be careful. While running, she also observes that mango tree, blankets, and workshop, posho mill, there is a lady preparing vitumbua and chips. She also notices that as their feet slap the dirty road, they leave footprints, and dust. The themes in this story are parental role. We see that mothers have a role to watch over children as they are playing, and sometimes they warn them and even dress them warmly so as to avoid catching up with pneumonia, page 32. The mother also forbids children from playing beyond the gate. The mother, to the narrator, always tells them not to go talk to strangers. There is peer influence or peer pressure. After pursuing a lorry for a while, the rest of the kids coax and dare Omido and the narrator to climb up the lorry. And they do decide to do so, and they get sugarcane, but they suffer injuries. The four kids seem to be under pressure, so they influence each other in how to conduct games. The slinging of the catapult on the passing by vehicles is also out of peer influence. We see also they are bargaining on what game to play, and they challenge each other, then pick. The boys even challenge Mbone to sit, not to sit with the lonesome sister. Or if she doesn't want to play the game, they will suggest then she goes and sits with her. On discovering that parents are away, these children influence each other to run and play on the roads. There is fate, pain, and suffering if you look at how Willie actually was getting up the lorry and later on broke the bone. Willie bleeds from thighs, groans, and loses conscience, page 38. Mbone feels the air thickening her lungs and she's having the sickly smell of blood. We have screams and shouts and bawls when Willie is hurt. Then the people queuing for water is out of suffering, social suffering. Then Mbone has a heart clutching and she cries. There is farming, you can see sugarcane there. Trauma. The situation which Mbone feels is out of trauma. When she vomits and throws the sugarcane she's holding on page 39. She also sucks her breath, spits a little pieces of sugarcane that stick in her teeth, falls on her knees, and something is pounding in her chest and she wants to cry. Then there is pollution. We can see pollution happening because the environment is filthy. Then we can also see that we have horrible smell emitted from latrines and clogged trenches. We have a composite pit around the rental houses. The road is dirty. When the Mutenga is passing, it's spitting smoke and the place is dusty. We have gossip as a theme. We have also gender disparity and religion. When you go to stylistic devices, you'll see things like dialogue, these children talking. We can also see the mother talking to Mbone. We can see personification as they talk about the vehicle. Then heads of wailing, a morning, whatever. The barren mango, thirsty January sun on page 34. The weather was wearing abnormal aridness. The sun sucked coolness. Familiar call from Mtenga. There is also exaggeration in the thirsty January situation. And the shirt button that is open. Mother tongue translation, filling our ears with stories. Most fathers left in their bicycles in the morning. We have local dialect like words like mama, mandazi, miwa, ugali, mtenga, vitumbua. There is direct address where Willie is telling Mbone that a girl must not climb a lorry. Then the mother to Willie addressing him to wake up. Then we can see mother to Mbone talking to her. Mbone talking to Willie, what have you done? We have irony because it's unexpected of that when children are locked, they still escape. There is simile, my legs feel wobbly as though they are made of spaghetti. They are carrying something that looks like bed. The sun has made closer as if it has descended. The old lorry stars thick red dust which gets into my eyes and makes them watery, like when I eat food with a lot of hot pepper, and so many others. We have rhetorical questions. When at the same time, when we're talking of direct address, there is just those examples there. Even idiophones and a lot of onomatopoeia like chew, chattering, slap, whiz, scream, popping, giggle. So on activity, I'll ask you as a student to identify any forms of misbehavior you can see in the story. Then do you think it was Willie's mistake to have done what he did? Why? Do you think Willie woke up later? Why or why not? Was the narrator's mother right to lock Mbone from the house? Why or why not? Why did Gloria use mother tongue translation words in the story? What is cultural, social, and economic setting of the story? What did you like or dislike in the story? Share that. Thank you for listening to me. Anytime you want questions about this story, just ask and I'll be glad to share with you. Bye bye for now.